Hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to a weekend live show where we're going to talk a little bit about last night's match, the goods, the bads, just the matches in the Premier League, Jadon Sancho having a very good game for Chelsea. But before we do that, we talk about the latest Manchester United news, we talk about the positives, we talk about transfer news and all that going about. And in today's video, we're going to talk about Amad Diallo proving that he could be the £19 million bargain. Ten Hag has a big plan for him. Ten Hag has spoken out about Amad Diallo and his opportunity to get minutes. Biancheri, time to shine. Mad moves in the academy could be involved versus Barnsley. 2 new signings have been approved for Manchester United. A new right back and a new winger coming into the academy is now officially done deal approved. And we've got a bit of an injury boost on Højlund, Luke Shaw, Mason Mount. The Lick speaks out about the Netherlands, his time at United, Rashford, the difference for him, Ten Hag, some comments, and Mazraoui bargain. So we're going to be talking mostly positive about the performances of the new signings, what's impressed us. Amad Diallo is essentially a new signing and general stuff going on. And yeah, Sancho played well for Chelsea, but Sancho had a few good games for United under Rangnick and then went back to being rubbish. And at the end of the day, if you say to me, would you rather have Sancho or Amad Diallo? I'd rather have Amad Diallo. And we're going to talk about Amad Diallo in today's video because there's no doubt in my mind Sancho's a good player and Chelsea have signed a great player in Sancho, but he wasn't good at United. It was right for us to get rid of him, despite me rather having Sancho play than Anthony. We just had to get rid of him for, personal reasons. But we will talk about that later in the show. I want to talk about the news. I want to talk about updates and more. But guys, let me know how you're feeling ahead of yesterday's match. It's good to get 3 points, something Liverpool did not get this weekend. It's good to get 3 goals as well and a clean sheet. I feel good. I mean, look, it's Man United. We've got Barnsley and Palace next, who haven't been particularly good. Obviously, Barnsley not in the Premier League, so we should win those next 2 games, and hopefully we can win 3 games in a row and build some positivity. But you just don't know with Manchester United. I mean, I'm happy now, but how long am I going to be happy for? So when I'm happy, I make the most out of it. I hype us up because you just don't know what's going to happen with United in terms of other results. But I want to actually show you what we've got coming up. So we've got Barnsley on Tuesday, Crystal Palace on Saturday, FC 20 on the Thursday, and Tottenham on the following Sunday. So we should be able to win our next 3 games. I think Tottenham in 2 weeks' time will be a very difficult game, though, that being said. But let's dive into the news. Let's dive into the updates. I want to talk about Amad Diallo as well. Someone said Liverpool lost. They did. I can't believe they lost, but because they looked a shadow of the team. Liverpool came to United full of energy, full of legs, outran us versus Forest, and they're at home as well. They didn't have the legs or the energy. They really did not have the legs and the energy versus Forest. Maybe it was the international break. Who knows? But Ten Hag said this on Amad Diallo. Amad is starting most of the games so far this season because he's progressing very well. He brings a lot to the team. You talked about intelligence, and he has shown that with and without the ball, he has the qualities to appeal to a manager. So basically, Amad Diallo played a bit in pre-season, got injured, then Forster and Anthony played over him that weren't particularly convincing. Amad finally got a few opportunities the back end of last season and was very good. That Ten Hag is now finally being like, okay, yeah, Amad is better than Anthony, and giving Amad opportunities. And Amad's going to have a big role for United this season, which is exciting to see. And he deserves it. I think he's worked really hard to get his place because the amount of chances Anthony had and Forster playing over him, what was that about? Ten Hag's talent ID with youth is normally quite good, bringing through Mainoo, bringing through Garnacho. Sorry, Zidane Iqbal, but I think Mainoo's better, so I'm going to bring through Mainoo instead. Zidane Iqbal's a good player, but do you know what I mean? So, for forcing over Amad was just crazy. So let's talk a little bit about Amad Diallo and why I think that he's going to prove to be the £19 million bargain as well. FC 20 next Wednesday. I think it's a Thursday because it's Europa League, isn't it? Hi Alice, Newcastle, Toon says Michael. I mean, you got Wolves today. How are you feeling, Michael? As well. And Mainoo and Amad might be exhausted by end of Jan or worse, injured. He needs to learn to rest players. He could rest players in the next game. Mainoo need to rest. Amad not too bothered about. But Mainoo definitely needs to rest because he had the whole Euros. You can see it with Mainoo. But Amad Diallo is the first Man United player to create 6+ chances and have 100% shot accuracy in a single Premier League match this decade. I mean, Bruno's created 6+ chances many times, but didn't have the shot accuracy. Anthony's never created more than 4 chances in a game for Manchester United. Amad created 6 today, or yesterday. Amad is the youngest Man United player to create 6+ chances in the Premier League game since Martial versus Stoke in 2016. And Amad's average chance creation is every 26 minutes in the Premier League this season, which is only, I believe, bettered by Cole Palmer. So really good start for Amad in the Premier League. Really promising as well. Definitely an FPM gem there in Amad Diallo as well, because 5 million, and I think he's going to get goal contributions. He could have had 3 assists. I think he's going to get more and more minutes. So good to see that from Ahmad. It was said that Diallo joined Manchester United from Atalanta for 90 million in 2021. Add-ons could see it rise to 37 million, but unless he's getting like a Ballon d'Or levels, we're not going to pay any more than about 25 million for him. The other add-ons is literally like if he becomes the player that he might actually become, and maybe we have to spend 37 million on him. But so far, we've only spent 19 million on him. And, you know, we signed him because we couldn't get Sancho that summer because we forgot to get Sancho. But I tell you what, he's, you know, people used to talk about Amad Diallo being the biggest waste of money, but he's really starting to live up to those pennies. And I saw this comment from United Muppeteers saying, everything we're seeing from Amad is what I think many others had hoped for in Jadon Sancho, but we never saw. Amazingly, Amad was signed in 2020 as part of a contingency plan for not getting Sancho back then, and just look what just took him a while to get in the team. And I think everything I expected to see from Sancho when he joined Manchester United those years ago, we're seeing it in Amad Diallo right now. He reminds me of the Dortmund Sancho. Everything I wanted in Sancho has now been seen in Amad. So losing Sancho, we obviously had to get rid of him. But it's like, yeah, we didn't need to replace him. We've got Amad. And it feels like somehow that big rubbish that Woodward and co did might have paid off for us in a weird way. He might have been a blessing in disguise, bringing in Amad Diallo and missing out on Jadon Sancho, which I think is quite crazy to think about. But these are obviously his game numbers versus Southampton. 9 touches in the opposition box, 6 chances created, 4 ball recoveries, 4 tackles attempted. But what I noticed about Amad is every time he got the ball, he could hold on to it really well. He would get the ball in tight spaces, he'd turn around, he'd play a quick one too. He was playing out tight spaces, using his body to hold off defenders, keep the ball. His retention and control, he doesn't give the ball away. The way it sticks to his feet like glue, and he glides between players. And then his intelligence to wait, hold up the ball, wait for Mazraoui to catch up, overlap him, play Mazraoui down. I just think that Amad's, you know, we're creating more of Amad, and I really want to see Amad and Højlund because we're now actually creating chances for our strikers. Xerxes, yes, he should have scored a goal, but I do think that Xerxes, if had a 9 out of 10 performance, the goal would have made it a 10 out of 10. The first one he's stretching, the second one he probably could have done better for. But we're now actually creating because you've got this mix of Rashford that's a direct winger that likes to cut in and shoot, and then we've got Amad Diallo that is like a less direct winger, who can be directed out to kind of shoot, but can also create and make things happen. And we're sort of seeing that at United. And I'm really excited. I would love to see Amad, Højlund and Xerxes in the same side. But, you know, things are really looking good with Amad Diallo. Massive fan of Amad, and he's playing very, very well as well. Alice, need more creativity from Amad as a winger. I think that he, you know, created 6 chances. He's created the most chances for Man United in the league this season, despite not playing as many minutes as other wingers. Only Cole Palmer's beats him for chance created per minute. So I think we've got the creativity there from Amad Diallo, if we're going to be honest. I really do. Alice, glad United won yesterday. My friend son played for Southampton. Wow. He was the one Diallo foul for Southampton pen and plays for England under 18s. Not a bad young boy. He was causing Diallo problems. He was really good, actually. He was causing Diallo problems. That's pretty cool as well. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with the game as well. Any update on the Overy wonder kid? Well, that is what we're going to talk about because we've obviously got 3 signings we've been waiting to approve. 2 of them have been sealed and approved now. But Obi Martin hasn't. And I don't know why Arsenal making it difficult. Is it because it's a free signing? Who knows? But we do have 2 signings on the way that I want to talk about as well. 6+ chances and 100% shot accuracy in a single Premier League game this decade. Very good stats there as well. Mainoo needs to be rested. We're going to talk about the Barnsley game, but I want to see Collier and Ugarte start. I want to see Collier and Ugarte start, if I'm going to be honest, or Ugarte and Casemiro start. I want to see Mainoo on the bench. I want to see Garnacho start. I want to see Garnacho start. I want to see Ugarte start. And I want to see Mainoo on the bench. That's what I want to see versus Barnsley. 100%. That's what I want to see because that is on Tuesday as well. So let's dive into the next story. So Manchester United have now got 2 new signings sealed and approved. Manchester United have received approval from the Premier League following the ratification process for signings both Noussair and James Overy. They can now join the club and start playing for the club. The deals have finally been approved and sealed, bish bash bosh, but we're still awaiting approval for Obi Martin. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just a more difficult deal to do because we got him a little bit later than the others. Is it to do with Arsenal making it difficult out of pure salt? I'm not sure what's going on with the whole Obi Martin situation. We'll have to wait and see. But let's have a little look into who we're bringing in. So obviously I'm not going to act like I was watching Noussair and James Overy and knew who they were before they joined United because the only academy I watch is United. And then obviously I'm aware of other teams' academy players through watching United play Liverpool Academy or Man City Academy. So I'm not going to act like I knew who the Perth Glory Academy player was. And Noussair, I'd heard that name before, but again, wasn't super familiar. But this is what I've been told, and well, not I've been told, this is what has been tweeted on the players and put out by Academy Scoop, who knows a lot about Academy players and sort of the details of who United are bringing in. He said, I'm reliably informed that Manchester United face competition from Dortmund, Arsenal and Chelsea, among another host of top clubs for signing Samuel Eto'o. So that shows that he's a good player when you look at the competition there. He's a dynamic left winger capable of rapid changes of pace and direction, very fast over long distances, plenty of end product in the final third, and particularly in creating chances for his teammates. So someone that's got good end product in the final third, rapid, can change pace, change direction, which is what would really suit Ten Hag's style now. Obviously, he's not someone that's going to get minutes for another couple of seasons. He was instrumental in Palace's under-15 Floodlit Cup victory last year, resulting in United's eventual pursuit. Obi Martin has, of course, gone the Lions' media share of attention, but there's no real doubt that this guy's in the same category as talents as Obi Martin. We obviously know about Obi Martin because he's from Arsenal hype, the goals he scored, but apparently this guy is as good as Obi Martin. Like, we're bringing in some seriously talented winger, and I think if Dortmund, Arsenal, and Chelsea are looking at him, you know that there's definitely levels there. Helping Palace win a cup, which is something, you know, Palace's academy don't do often. You know, there's definitely levels there in the player, which is good to see. It was said that he got a goal and assist versus Slovakia versus Wales under 18s playing for Slovakia. First match he started in 3 months. He got a goal and assist at under 18s level, just showing he's always there to make an impact. And he's the new signing for United. It was obviously pending Premier League approval, but him and James Overy have now got Premier League approval. Interestingly, someone compared him to Kvaratskhelia. And I said, you know, if I was to buy a winger for United, I would go out for Kvaratskhelia, who we won't get because Napoli would just not do any reasonable deal with us. But I've always said Kvaratskhelia is the kind of guy that I would love to see on the United wing. I'm not interested in Leao. I think he's what you want. He's a game changer, can do something out of nothing. And apparently he's been compared to the likes of Kvaratskhelia in terms of style as a winger. So I think that's quite exciting as well. Ruud van Nistelrooy, could he be more involved? I think Ruud van Nistelrooy was very involved yesterday. I think in the tactical changes, I think in us coming out in the second half a lot better. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy will have a big influence on Ten Hag this season. And I think if it goes wrong, we'll see Ruud van Nistelrooy take over at the helm. I wouldn't say that Mainoo's been bad, but I just think that the tactics, he's exhausted. I think Mainoo had an all right second half, but a poor first half. I thought Mainoo just looks a little bit like he needs a rest. He's been thrown in the deep end. The system makes absolutely no sense. I actually just think that Mainoo needs a rest. I don't think that Mainoo's been bad. I just think that he's overused and we need to integrate him into the system. I think, to be fair, I think he had a good second half. I thought he was good in the Fulham game. I thought Mainoo was good in the Fulham game, and I thought he was good in the Brighton game. But the last 2 games, he's not had a break. And I think we need to give him a break versus Barnsley. And I think Mainoo just needs a little bit of a rest to catch up. But I have no concerns about Mainoo. But, people saying Mainoo's 2 yellows away from suspension, that tells you everything you need to know about the midfield and the tactics. The fact that Mainoo has got a yellow card in every single Premier League game this season tells you everything you need to know about the tactics. Because when Mainoo loses the ball, there's no one there to cover for him, so he has to make the foul. There's such a big space that he has to make the foul. And that, I think, is worrying. And I think that the problem is not Mainoo. The problem is the tactics and what Mainoo's being asked to do and the lack of support that he's getting. And Ten Hag does need to fix that up massively. Absolutely massively as well. Big up Alice Talks Football. Love the channel. Subscribe, people. Thank you very much, Punch Pate. Appreciate the comment as well. Yeah, guys, please do subscribe if you're new. We're on 92,892 subscribers, so 8 away from 92.9k, on that road to 93k by the end of September, hopefully. And then we're going to push for the big 100,000 subscribers. Still a bit of way to go, but we're on that final stretch. So if you are new, subscribe's always appreciated as well. I do think the problem is Mainoo, says David. Are you crazy, David? What? Are you crazy? Because I tell you what, Mainoo's been hung out to dry a bit, but he was our best midfielder last season. He was good in the Fulham game. He was good in the Brighton game. He's good on the ball. I think he just needs the right partner. When Casemiro played as a 6, it was a nightmare. When Mainoo played, he was a bit better. Mainoo's done better than Casemiro and McTominay and Eriksen in that role. Absolutely. And now Ugarte's coming in. Hopefully we'll see the best of Mainoo. We just need an athletic guy. I don't think Mainoo is the problem at all. I don't know what you're going on about, David, but I don't think there's anything wrong with Mainoo. I just think he's exhausted as well. Mainoo gets booked because he's covering for Casemiro and Eriksen. They got no legs. Exactly. And the system as well. Well, let's talk about the other new signing, James Overy. Manchester United have completed the signing of 16-year-old James Overy as per Stephen Railston, following the right-back's departure from Clerkenwell and subsequent relocation with his family in England. A highly offensive-minded fullback with the impressive athleticism and strong mental profile. Overy joins as a first-year scholar and will begin the season with United's under-18s. So James Overy, apparently a little bit like a right-back version of Harry Ames. Very exciting young talent to come in at right-back at United there as well. So good things to see. Cobby has a huge job, and according to his age, I think Erik Ten Hag has to do something with it. Yeah, Erik Ten Hag is demanding too much of Cobby. He's hanging him out to dry with the tactics and running him down to the ground as well. The problem is not Cobby, it's the system. The system is the problem as well. Mainoo visibly tired and could use a rest. You're more exhausted when you commit fouls. He's being overrun because of the tactics around him. Kobbie Mainoo is not the problem. Kobbie Mainoo is the future of this club, and Ten Hag needs to sort out those tactics and adjust the midfield, because not just Kobbie, every midfielder struggled. Every single midfield struggled as well. And people need to remember that he's young. He played the Euros. He started in the final. The poor guy needs a break. So hopefully I want to see Ugarte start and Mainoo rested, and I want to see Garnacho start. And I want to see Garnacho start versus Barnsley, and I want to see Kobbie rested and Ugarte start. That's what I want to see. I wouldn't mind seeing Collier start. Probably see Casemiro back in the team again versus Barnsley. But I'd like to see Casemiro and Ugarte play together, because I'd like to see what Casemiro does if he can get further up the pitch as well. Do you think we'll see Højlund back in time for Barnsley? Probably not. I will talk about the latest on injuries, but I can't imagine us seeing Højlund back in time for Barnsley. But I want to talk quickly about one other youngster before I move on to the injury news, before I move on to news on certain Man United players, Ten Hag's future and more, and that is Biancheri. Now, Biancheri, we signed him from Cardiff about 2 years ago. Really good, exciting young player. Was good last season in the academy, but I always find, Garnacho's first season in the academy was okay. His second season was when he exploded. I always find that was sort of players you bring in. And I think he's someone that looks like he's absolutely exploding his second season. He was good in his first season, but this season he's on fire. He's absolutely exploding, playing some unbelievable stuff. He got a goal versus City, a goal versus Blackburn, 2 goals versus Leicester, a goal versus Liverpool, and 2 goals versus Newcastle. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals in his last 5 games in the academy, playing against very difficult opposition. And there's been talk of Biancheri maybe seeing himself on the bench ahead of the Barnsley game as a reward for his big form. It's talk, it's rumours, it's not official, but we could be seeing him on the bench ahead of the game. Obviously, Ethan Wheatley is the one that's getting on the bench at the moment. But Biancheri may be rewarded for his good form, because he's been absolutely unbelievable as well. Alice, do you think Man United have good centre-backs? I think we have good centre-backs. It's just the injuries. I think, Martinez is 25, De Ligt is 25, Euro's 18. I think the centre-backs are there. We've got good centre-backs for the future and the long-term project. It's just keeping them fit. We probably need that one more to replace Maguire that can play on the left 100% like a Braithwaite. And then it's just about keeping the centre-backs fit. I think Manchester City have 4 really good centre-backs. And then they probably have the 5th guy that can cover it all. They've got Stones, they've got Diaz, they've got Guardiola, they've got Ake, they've got Kanje. But obviously, Ake and Guardiola can play on the left. You just need, for me, Euro, Braithwaite, De Ligt and Martinez does the job. And then if you can find someone that's able to play like left-back / left centre-back and right-back and cover all bases, it's like the 5th one that's happy to be a bench player. I think that's what you need in terms of balance at the back as well. Will Højlund play versus Barnsley? I don't think so. I think he could come off the bench maybe, but I will get into Ten Hag's comments. But yeah, Biancheri could see himself on the bench potentially on Højlund's injury as well. So let's talk about players. I just wanted to give a shout out here to Mazraoui. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. I think him and Amad Diallo linking up on that right-hand side was so nice to see, so beautiful to see. I thought the combination play, the link-up was brilliant. You've gone from Wan-Bissaka and Antony that aren't really technical players on the right-hand side, and it's just like watching Wan-Bissaka and Antony try and combine on the right-hand side to now watching Amad Diallo and Mazraoui combine on the right-hand side, and the technical ability and ability in tight spaces, and how every single one of Mazraoui's passes seems to be accurate and progressive, and how he keeps the ball and it sticks to his feet like glue and he moves it forward, and his ability and build-up. It's so nice to just see this combination of Mazraoui and Amad Diallo. So I wanted to just give a shout-out to Mazraoui. I think he could go down as the signing of the season. When you look at the price, you look at the fee paid for him, I think he's an unbelievable player as well. We do need a left-back, I agree. Look, Dalot's obviously playing at left-back. I would have played Mazraoui at left-back and Diallo right-back, because Mazraoui is more two-footed. But I think if Mazraoui gets injured, because Luke Shaw's not back yet, we've only got Mazraoui, Luke Shaw and Diallo to rotate between, and they're going to almost have to play every game. So I wouldn't say Diallo the liability at left back. He's been good every game, bar the Southampton game, and he had a good second half. But we just need that extra name. And I would like us to look at Anthony Robinson maybe in January, because I think as well with Robinson, He's 28, so he's older, but I think he's Premier League proven. He's ready now, and that could give us time to develop Harry Amas and give some real competition to Luke Shaw as well. Mazraoui is such fresh air in the first 11. I think Mazraoui, out of all the new signings, has been my favourite so far. I mean, Xerxes, I thought had a great game. I really like Xerxes. I really like Diallo, but Mazraoui, I think 15 million. I really love Mazraoui, and I can see why Bayern Munich fans were so angry that we got Mazraoui for 15 million and De Ligt for 38 million. We got Mazraoui and De Ligt for 52 million combined, and I can see why Bayern Munich fans are annoyed about that, because Mazraoui and De Ligt cost us less than Mason Mount, and Mazraoui and De Ligt bring in more than Mason Mount. They cost less than Antony. They cost less than Casemiro, Mazraoui and De Ligt. So I can see why Bayern Munich fans were so angry that they let Mazraoui and De Ligt go for so cheap, because even when we lost 3-0 to Liverpool, I actually thought De Ligt had a good game. I saw today De Ligt having a good game. Really impressed with what I'm seeing from Mazraoui. Really impressed with what I'm seeing from De Ligt. As you said here, he oozes composure. De Ligt is a monster as well. Xerxes was great yesterday. People will say Xerxes missed a chance, but if you look at his all-round plays, combination, his technical abilities, his vision to execute the passes, I think that Xerxes was really, really good yesterday. And it's nice to say, we had 3 new signings on the pitch, 4 actually, because Ugarte came on. Every single new signing impressed yesterday. 4 of our new signings got on the pitch, and every single one of them you could see why they were signed, and they were signed for a purpose. And sometimes I was trying to be positive about new signings, but it took a while for Onana, Højlund, and Mason Mount to get going last season. In fact, Mason Mount never really got going last season because of injuries. The season before, Antony didn't really get going either. It's nice to see we've got new signings coming in, and they're actually making an impact, and they're actually serving a purpose already. And yes, we signed this guy for a reason, and it feels like, this is a good signing already, and not that we're waiting for them to get going, like Sancho and Antony and stuff. So it's definitely good signs there as well. But I'm absolutely loving it as well. Ugarte's debut was really good, at a really good class. De Ligt is a pit class, brilliant player, a real leader at the back. Yeah, De Ligt is such a box defender, and I was saying in my watch along, 10 minutes into the game, De Ligt is going to be such a threat off set pieces for us, because he's good in the air and he's such a box defender. And I think 20 minutes later, he scored that goal from the set piece right after the penalty, which I think changed the momentum and swing of the game. I think Onana changed the game with his penalty save, but I think De Ligt's header as well was massive. And I think, he's powerful, he's quick, he's technically good. I think De Ligt's really suited to the Premier League because of the physicality. Him being a box defender, him being no-nonsense box defender, I think he's really suited to the Premier League because of his physicality. He's good in duels, he's good in the air, and I think it's a good partner for Martinez, because Martinez isn't particularly good in the air, and he's quite aggressive, whilst De Ligt is more standoffish, and De Ligt is more someone that reads the game, and De Ligt is there for the set pieces. I think that it's looking like it's a good pairing. I thought both players had a really good game, because I don't think Martinez was good in the Liverpool game. I was also saying Martinez had a really good Copa America, then he just looked a little bit iffy the first couple of games of the season, and yesterday Martinez put in a monstrous performance, an absolute monstrous performance as well. Alice, what are your thoughts on Bruno commenting on Sancho's Instagram post? I have no thoughts on that. I don't know what's wrong with that. Bruno and Sancho are friends. Sancho may have been a knobhead to the manager, and Sancho may have demanded to leave United, but there's nothing wrong with Bruno bigging him up and being nice. That's his mate. Do you know, at the end of the day, if I was playing football and my mate fell out with the manager and my mate went to another club and had a really good game, I'd be happy for my mate. So I don't know why people are angry at Bruno Fernandes for commenting on Jadon Sancho's post. It's silly. I have no issue with Jadon Sancho. I wanted him gone because he's not a professional, and I want professionals at this club. He didn't know what it meant to play for the United badge, and he didn't care about United. I wanted Sancho gone. But those players are more than happy to be friends with Jadon Sancho because they've been at the club the last 3 years and support him. I want Jadon Sancho to get his career back on track, ideally not at Chelsea, but I don't think there's anything wrong with Bruno commenting on Sancho's post. I know people are annoyed at it, but he's just saying, well done to his mate. I don't think it's that deep as well. He backs everyone, and, that's just normal behaviour as well. I have no issue with that as well. Ahmad is a big deal for the squad. I just think the difference that Ahmad and Mazraoui make to our right wing, honestly, because I feel like we've been a team that's always been quite dominant down the left-hand side. Luke Shaw and Rashford, everything used to come down the left, and we'd have Dan James and Wan-Bissaka on the right. We were a team that was a little bit predictable because everything came down the left-hand side. It felt like we haven't had a right winger since Ronaldo at times even. So to actually see our right-hand side be so dominant with not just Ahmad but Mazraoui, and that combination and that link-up was really good to see, really nice to see. You can see, the link up, you can see the combination, you can see a right hand side that looks good, looks exciting, and honestly, yeah, I'm really happy with what I'm seeing from United. But yeah, should we get into a few more news stories as well? Exciting season. Still have Mount, Højlund, Euroshaw, and Malacia to be back. Exactly. Look, I know it's only Southampton. I know the first 30 minutes there was a lot of problems and a lot of things to be concerned about. And I'm aware we've got problems and that this isn't going to miraculously save our season, this 3-0 win. But there was a lot of positives in this 3-0 win. Enjoy the win, praise the win. Doesn't matter if it's Southampton, doesn't matter if it's Manchester City you beat. Enjoy the win, enjoy the moment, praise the win as well. Diallo good on the right once he switched. Diallo looked really good on the right-hand side, but he was struggling on the left-hand side. But fair play to the youngster at Palace as well. But we played bad for 30 minutes, and I'm not going to ignore that. Out of possession, it was shocking, but in possession, we've gone up levels. And that, for me, is important. The recruitment has made us go up levels in possession. It's now up to Ten Hag tactically, and then INEOS to recruit players with bigger, who can run more to improve us out of possession. There's definitely positives there and positive signs there as well. So yeah, let's dive into, obviously, the injury latest. What has been said on the injuries and what United are building and what's happening going forward. Ten Hag said, "It's an important period with 7 games in 22 days. We need everyone and I hope there will be some returns. It won't be the case for the next game, but I hope Højlund, Mount and Shaw will be back in the coming weeks." So he's saying Højlund, Mount and Shaw should be back in the coming weeks, but because we've got 7 games in 22 games, he doesn't want to rush them back. He said it probably won't be for Barnsley, but he's hoping that he can utilise them on the bench soon. Ten Hag did say on the current injuries, because Martinez, Mazraoui and De Ligt all went off injured, the curse of the defence said this: "It seems that it was cramped for the players who went out on international break. We have a lot of international players who are in another continent so far from Manchester. Travelling to Southampton is not an advantage in this time frame." So what Ten Hag is saying is he thinks the injuries to De Ligt, Mazraoui, Martinez is all just cramped because they're going to South America, Africa, then having to come back to Southampton with about 2 days on them. I mean, Ugarte literally came back and goes to Southampton the next day as well. So I think that's fair. That apparently there doesn't seem to be any major injuries to Martinez, De Ligt and Mazraoui. They all look good. Ten Hag just took them off as a precaution, and maybe Ten Hag's doing something like the minute he sees his players starting to feel something, maybe Ten Hag's like, you know what, I'm going to take them off. The minute I see that my players starting to feel something, maybe Ten Hag's saying I'm going to take them off because I don't want to risk any kind of injuries to the defence and all of that as well. And I've got options in Evans and Maguire, which I know isn't like options, but I think that he's basically saying it's a little bit of cramp, this and that. And I think Højlund will be back for the Spurs game. Højlund's expected to be back for the Spurs game, maybe even the Crystal Palace game, maybe even the FC20 game. Højlund's expected to be back in the next week. Shaw, obviously, they're just going to mould in because they know what he's like when you rush Shaw back. And then Mount, we'll have to wait and see what happens with Mount. But Mount isn't expected to be out for super long. So I think it's just a mixture of moulding players back into the side as well. Sancho has gone, so be it. If you don't love the club, you don't deserve to be there. Talent or I don't have regrets. 100%. At the end of the day, it wasn't about Sancho's talent and ability. It was about Sancho not understanding what it was like to play for the badge and play for United. And that's why Sancho had to go as well. Ahmad should have the number 7 bigger Palace. I mean, number 7 something. If Ahmad or Garnacho, both one of them has a really good year this season, we can maybe give them the number 7 next year. I think number 7 out of hands for now. But if Ahmad, comes and gets 20 goals this season, you give him the number 7. If Garnacho goes and gets like 15 goals and 10 assists, you give him the number 7 for sure. But at the end of the day, Mount's got the number 7. And look, would I have given him the number 7? No. Did they probably give him the number 7 hoping it would sell more shirts? Yes. He's not a number 7 Mason Mount. But at the end of the day, it's a shirt number. It's not that deep, is it? I just wanted to talk about Ugarte's debut. What were your guys' thoughts on the Ugarte debut? Won all his duels, won all his tackles, 100% pass accuracy, solid debut. I thought we looked better defensively when he came on, shut down shop. It was only 20 minutes and it's only Southampton and we're already 2-0 up. But I thought I really liked Ugarte, aggressive, winning back his duels. I think there were some really good signs showed by Ugarte in his debut. And I think a lot of positives to take from Manuel Ugarte's debut, which I like as well. Dominic Solanke and Mickey van der Ven both arrived at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this morning ahead of the North London derby. I think Tottenham are going to get a result. I think Tottenham are going to get a result versus Arsenal today. Garnacho, the explosive winger, and Ahmad, the creative winger. Wow, says the Flying Dutchman. Yeah, I think we've got 2 really good young wing talents. I think if Rashford can get his confidence back and form back, and I think he had a very good game versus Southampton, there's 3 good talents on the wing there as well. But Ugarte showed he was a no-nonsense player. He's a good player as well. Any clues on why Martin's called Ugarte the octopus? Probably because like he's almost like got 8 legs because of how good he is at winning duels. His legs are everywhere, like boom, 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 boom. I'm assuming that's why it's called the octopus. But really, really good game from Ugarte. Really, really happy with what I've seen from Ugarte as well. Guys, we've got over 900 people watching. If you have not already, please hit that like button. And of course, subscribe down below if you're new. I'm 7 subscribers away from 92.9k. I'm on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So I do live streams every single day talking about Manchester United matches, the news, discussing with you guys. And then I do a few short video roundups as well on the latest news. So if you want daily United content, be involved, interactive live shows, quick videos, just get all your latest news within 10 minutes, please do subscribe down below. It is greatly appreciated. I want to talk quickly a little bit about Rashford. Ten Hag said this on Rashford: we don't pay attention to outside noise, but you're right. There's been too much negativity about Rashford. He works hard. He's been rewarded. He's scored many goals for United. I'm sure he'll score many more. I like that comment from Ten Hag. He said the team is growing, but it needs time. We need to build this team, but I'm sure we'll get that with a lot of work. You see the progress game to game. I saw progress, not in the first 30 minutes, but after the penalty save. On De Ligt, Ten Hag said on De Ligt, he's not surprised. De Ligt isn't even 100% ready yet. He needs more games to get up to speed, but you'll see we see signs once he'll be ready, he'll do much better. We're happy with him and his game today. Unbelievable game from De Ligt, and Ten Hag is saying there's more to see from De Ligt. And De Ligt himself said, today we played well. Maybe at the beginning we had some trouble. Big credit to Andre who saved the penalty. He changed the game actually for us. A clean sheet. Nice to see as well. So yeah. Guys, I'm going to wrap up the live show here because I've got to go off and do some bits before the North London derby, where I'm kind of hoping Tottenham get a result, even though we're probably competing with them for top 4, and Arsenal will probably get top 4 anyway, so maybe it's better for us if Arsenal get a result, but I just don't like Arsenal. But anyway, please hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching. I'll be back later tonight. See you then. Bye.